Have you ever wondered if there's a dark side to your personality? What if I told you that certain hidden traits could reveal a lot about your psychological makeup? This isn't your typical personality test. Today, we're diving deep into forbidden psychological tests that could help you uncover dark psychological traits that may be lurking in your subconscious. Are you ready to find out if your mind harbors some of the traits that psychopaths, narcissists, and manipulators use to control others? Let's explore the darkest corners of the human psyche. 1. Understanding dark psychology. Before we jump into the tests, let's first define what dark psychology is. Dark psychology refers to the study of manipulative behaviors and mental processes that lead to exploitation, control, and emotional harm. It includes psychological traits such as Machiavellianism, narcissism, and psychopathy, all of which have the potential to destroy relationships and lead to toxic behavior. Machiavellianism is about using others for personal gain without remorse. Narcissism is an inflated sense of self-importance and a constant need for validation from others. Psychopathy is characterized by a lack of empathy and remorse, and the ability to harm others without guilt. But how do these traits manifest in everyday life? And why do we sometimes get drawn to people who display these characteristics? 2. The forbidden psychological test, Machiavellianism test. Now let's dive into our first forbidden psychological test, the Machiavellianism test. Machiavellianism, named after the Italian philosopher Niccolo Machiavelli, is about manipulation, control, and deceit. Psychopaths and narcissists often exhibit high levels of Machiavellianism, and they use these traits to manipulate others for their own gain. To see how much of this trait you might have, answer the following questions honestly. Do you often find yourself convincing others to do things for you, even if it's not in their best interest? Do you enjoy using others for your personal gain, even if it means lying to them? Have you ever used charm or persuasion to get someone to do something they did not initially want to do? If you answered yes to any of these, you may have a tendency to use Machiavellian tactics in your daily life. 3. Narcissism test. Next up, we have the narcissism test. Narcissism is defined as a grandiose sense of self-importance, a desire for admiration, and a lack of empathy. But narcissism isn't always obvious. Many narcissists appear to be successful, confident, and charming, especially at the beginning of relationships. However, as the relationship progresses, their need for admiration can become toxic. Answer these questions honestly to determine if you have narcissistic traits. Do you often feel like you deserve special treatment or recognition, even in situations where others may deserve it more? Do you become easily upset or angry when people do to give you the attention or praise you feel you deserve? Do you find yourself constantly seeking validation or admiration from others? If your answers point to high narcissistic traits, this can affect your relationships and self-awareness. 4. Psychopathy test. Now let's talk about psychopathy, a trait often associated with individuals who lack empathy and remorse. Psychopaths can be highly manipulative, and they often leave a trail of emotional and physical destruction behind them. They may seem charming, but their lack of empathy allows them to manipulate others with little to no guilt. Take a moment to answer these questions and see if psychopathic traits resonate with you. Do you often struggle to understand other people's emotions, or do you feel indifferent toward others' pain? Do you sometimes take pleasure in situations where others are harmed or feel discomfort? Do you find it difficult to feel remorse for your actions, even if they negatively impact others? Psychopathy can be difficult to spot, but identifying these traits is crucial for self-awareness and emotional intelligence. 5. The results. What do they mean? Now that you've completed the tests, it's time to discuss the results and what they mean. Machiavellianism is about manipulation and control. If you scored high on this test, you may have a tendency to use others to get ahead, often without feeling guilty about it. Narcissism is more about an inflated sense of self-importance and a constant need for admiration. High narcissistic traits might mean you prioritize your own needs above others, which could lead to strained relationships. Psychopathy, however, is the most concerning. If you scored high on this test, it might indicate a lack of empathy and a greater capacity to hurt others without remorse. But remember, no test can fully define your personality. This is a starting point for self-reflection and understanding your potential for growth. We've explored the forbidden psychological tests and uncovered the darker sides of our personalities. But the important thing is this: awareness is the first step to change. If you identified some of these traits in yourself, don't be alarmed. Use this knowledge to better understand your relationships and your behaviors. If you found this test helpful, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more psychological insights. Like, comment, and share this video to help others learn about the dark side of human behavior. Remember, self-awareness and emotional intelligence are key, and you have the power to improve both.